preparation for writing your dissertation, you've probably already realized that this is going to be one of the longest papers of your life. And in preparation for this monumental task, perhaps you've read textbooks and guides about what goes where, or even scoured through checklists as you attempt to wrap your head around this massive tome. And in doing so, perhaps you found yourself wandering in this dense forest of ideas. And over time, that forest can start to feel like a labyrinth, strewn with highlighters, spreadsheets, and track changes. Or perhaps you're afraid to step foot in the forest for fear of getting lost. If that's you, I want you to take a moment and just step away from your dissertation, or your idea of what a dissertation is. Get out a good old-fashioned pen and paper and take some notes, because what I'm about to share with you is going to help you blaze a trail on your own journey. And the journey is a long one, so it's important to have as much clarity as possible about the destination. Can you imagine how much more difficult things would have been for Frodo if he had been told, "Here, little hobbit, carry this ring, carry it somewhere for some unknown period of time towards some unknown outcome. Oh, and by the way, you'll be beset by enemies at every turn, and this ring is going to try to infect you with evil every step of the way." Yet, we often begin our dissertations with very little clarity about exactly what we're trying to accomplish. We plunge in furiously, hoping to grit it out. And over time, our dissertation can start to feel more like an albatross instead of a tool shaping us into the scholar we want to be. Let's begin. What is a dissertation? Of course, a dissertation is a product. It's a scholarly product representing the culmination of your doctoral journey. But oftentimes, we try to divorce the product from the person creating it, you. Let's take a moment to consider you, the writer, the dissertator. Yes, that's the word. To dissertate means to discuss a subject fully and learnedly. It's discourse. And the dissertation is an interconnected work, often consisting of 5 chapters. The first 3 chapters comprise the proposal. And in the proposal, you are arguing, you are justifying for the need for your study. And each chapter in the proposal functions in a different way to get you one step closer to an approved study. The first chapter in the proposal is the introductory chapter. In this chapter, you are presenting the problem to be investigated. And there are several sections of related material in this chapter. These include the problem statement, purpose statement, research questions, theoretical and conceptual framework, and more. Then you have the literature review. The literature review is an in-depth critical analysis of the extant literature on your topic. Through writing the literature review, you're pointing out patterns, gaps, and controversies, all pointing back to the problem that you intend to investigate that you outlined in your introductory chapter. And then you have your methodology chapter. In this chapter, you are justifying all of your methodological decisions. You're telling the reader, step by step, how you plan to recruit participants, collect data, analyze data, and all the ethical considerations for your study. And the methodology you choose is a representation of how you view the research problem, either through a qualitative lens, quantitative, or mixed methods lens. And then finally, we have the last 2 chapters, what we call the contribution. In chapter 4, often called the results or findings chapter, you're simply telling the reader what you found in response to your research questions. Then in the final chapter, the conclusions chapter, this is where you're really coming into your own as a scholar. You're looking back to the literature to compare and contrast your findings against other scholars in the field. You're also looking forward and telling the reader what your recommendations for future research and practice are. And you're talking about implications for theory, education, and policy. And I love this chapter because this is where you truly develop your voice as a scholar. I think that's pretty exciting, don't you? If you are ready to begin, then let's embark on this journey together. Our coaches will provide you with step-by-step instructions and resources to help you write with clarity and purpose. Stay the course and write a dissertation that matters to you and the other scholars in your field. Let's begin, shall we?